You know who my next guest is? One Championship VP, Sirius XM host, and former UFC champion, Miesha Tate, joining me here on the program. Miesha, how's it going?
Hey, it's going pretty good, considering this has been a wild 2020. You hate to ever wish for time to go by faster, because I just think that's a general no-no. You shouldn't do that. But I would be lying if I wasn't excited for 2021. I'm just so done with 2020, and I'm wishing away the rest of 2020.
No, I agree. It's been a very challenging year for a lot of people, but silver lining, I'm a glass half full person. You're back home right now in Washington State. That must be pretty nice to reconnect with your family.
It's amazing. If there's anything that this whole COVID situation has taught me, again, it's the things that really matter the most. Family, friendships, connections, so many things that I think we've all generally taken for granted. I know I have, and I'm just stoked to be back here with family. I'll be able to spend Christmas. I've got my 2 kiddos now, so we'll be doing holidays at the grandparents' house. So yeah, a lot of blessings.
And then you were telling me off air, so you're just staying here for the holidays, and then off to Vegas, where Holm is going to be now, because obviously you were in Singapore before this.
Exactly. Yep. And Singapore was a pretty cool experience. Definitely, never lived overseas or in Asia, done anything like that. So I'm grateful for the experience. But, once the pandemic hit, Singapore got really small, really fast. I've never lived on a little tiny island like that. So I'm very grateful to be home. And yeah, I'm again looking forward to 2021.
Yeah. And speaking of that, is there any headway? I know we got this pandemic going on, but is there any headway on One Championship, potentially doing some shows in the U.S.? Because I know that's been talked about for a while.
Right now, I think it's not the top focus because the pandemic has thrown so many curveballs, I mean, there are some organizations that are still not even throwing fights, so I think the fact that One Championship is doing their thing and we're throwing fights and making it happen through a pandemic, that's a success in my book. Throwing live events is always great. Giving the fans something to look forward to is awesome. But, we still want to come to the U.S. Absolutely. And there's so much that I want to, I want the fans to experience, something, One Championship is special. And there's some really unique things. I think the production value, I think the storytelling, but it's on at odd times, like the live events. If you're on Pacific time, you got to wake up like 4 a.m. sometimes.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I think people are missing out. And I'm excited for when we do get a chance to actually touch American soil and give the fans something to kind of awe about.
There's a lot going on in women's MMA right now. First and foremost, and I know you discussed this on your Sirius show, but Clarissa Shields making the move to PFL. I was a bit surprised by that just because I didn't really think of it as an option, but I think it's a good move because there isn't that pressure of being under, the UFC banner or any of these other banners where there's these expectations. With PFL, it's a great place to get your feet wet. What did you think of that decision?
Well, I mean, I think PFL is doing good things. They seem to be making a lot of fighters happy. I'm friends with Ray Sefo, and I know, he's definitely a fighter first man, a former fighter himself. And I think it seems like a really good home for a lot of fighters, or either coming in, or coming out, or even in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Like, they're just doing a good job. And I have yet to hear like real complaints from any fighters or anything like that. I think PFL is doing a great job. So Clarissa probably made a good decision. I think, too, like her weight class, I think they'll be able to focus more on that. Now, I think she wants to get down to 145, but she may be looking to start somewhere at 155. Obviously, that's something, some other promotions aren't really able to focus on at the moment. So if PFL can get it done, that would be really interesting to see how they can unravel a division that, has yet to be built.
I also think it's a smart move, her training at Jackson Wink, because someone you fought, Holly Holm, made a similar transition from boxing to MMA. Do you think that's a good fit for her, especially working with Holly, who's already been through this?
I feel like it's got to be. I don't know if there's a better fit for her, to be honest, because Holly is going to give her kind of all the tricks of the trade and show her the ropes. She's done it herself, as you mentioned, a successful boxer, successful kickboxer, and, really a superstar in MMA. She's touched gold. She's done the unthinkable. just an incredible woman and very kind too. You know, I imagine that Holly will be somebody who will really not hesitate to show her everything and be an open book and really, just be the awesome person that Holly is. So I think hopefully it's a good fit for her. I'd like to see Claressa Shields do great things. I want to see her make a lot of money. I want to see her come over to a sport that appreciates women equally as opposed to boxing and just show her, what it feels like to be an equal in a combat sport.
Very well said. Another name that's been making the rounds with women's MMA, Kayla Harrison. Actually, I don't know if you saw, but her fight's now off this weekend. Her opponent was 180.
Oh,
Did you hear about that or no? I
didn't. Oh,
yeah.
No. Terrible.
Yeah. So it was a rematch anyways, but you kind of know what they were doing. They were trying to keep Kayla obviously active with her being over in Titan FC and PFL not doing much. But I guess my question for you is, what do you see the future for Kayla Harrison? Because she's very talented. I think a lot of fans just want to see her tested at this point. And I know the PFL is going to do another season, and I'm sure she'll do very well. But she trains with Amanda Nunes, so that kind of takes out some of the, the fun there if she was to go to the UFC. I think Bellator's a good fit, but I don't know if that's something she's looking at. What do you think sort of the future is for Kayla Harrison? Because obviously she's very talented.
Oh, Kayla Harrison, man, she's got some, I don't think we've seen a judoka like her other than Ronda. So that's what's really exciting about her style is you see where it can, the potential, right? There's a blueprint there. And I'm definitely curious to see if she can build upon that. Now, granted, she's fought at majority 155. She's come down to 145. She's made that. We want to see, can she be one of the greats? Can she translate that judo like Ronda did? So far she's been doing great, but yeah, she's at a point in her career where I definitely think she's ready to take a step up, to get a challenge. And it's exciting to think eventually, Kayla Harrison versus Claressa Shields. We got the classic striker kind of grappler-esque type matchup, two really, really naturally big, strong women. And, then we'll see, what can happen from there.
Last time we spoke, Paige Van Zandt was set to be a free agent. She is no longer a free agent. She is signed with Bare Knuckle FC. Were you surprised by that move on her end?
Yes, I really was. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see that one coming. I figured, maybe Bellator, who knows, maybe one championship. I don't know. I thought MMA. I didn't see boxing in any way, shape, or form. But, she does like to strike. She's tenacious and she wants to make a lot of money. And it seems like they're going to pay her a lot of money. So good for her. If that's what floats her boat and she wants to make a quick buck or $1 million, to throw down in bare knuckle boxing, man, more power to her.
The internet went a little crazy a couple days ago when you posted that photo of yourself training, and I know a lot of people were like, is she going to come out of retirement and all these things? But you did mention, I think I heard you say something, that you still have fights left on your UFC contract. How many fights do you have left?
I have 6.
Oh, do you really? Okay. I wasn't sure it was that much.
6 fights. Yeah. So if I wanted to fight, which I'm not, but if I wouldn't be able to fight anywhere else then. So you wouldn't see me pop up and fight for one championship or anybody else, because obviously I can't legally do that. Right. I would like to grapple. Yeah. And, Cyborg did call me out to a grappling match. I
co-host the show with her every week. That's how this all started, by the way. I don't know if you saw that, because your producer reached out.
Yeah.
So I planted the seed here, but yeah, I think that's something that because you guys have never fought, and I think a grappling match would be amazing.
It would be amazing. I think we have to, if we want to make it happen, we definitely have to figure out the legalities of it. And, because my fight contract's owned by the UFC, right? She fights for Bellator, and I work and represent one championship. So it's we kind of have a lot we would have a lot. But right now I'm just focused on having fun. This is something that I wasn't able to do in the latter part of my career. The last couple of years of my career were really strenuous. And a lot of that had to do with my personal life. And I wasn't having fun. I was exhausted, to be honest, mentally exhausted before I even got to the fights. And some fights, I was able to really bring it, and other ones I wasn't. But I want to compete again. I want to grapple, and I want to get in great shape, and I want to have fun. And that's what I'm doing. It feels really good to be when I was back in Las Vegas the other week, and then I'll be back in a couple weeks training there. A lot of familiar faces. It's been fun. I hit mitts with my coach, my former coach, Jimmy Gifford, the one who I won the world title with. And, it's just rekindling all those old relationships. It's been a blast.
So just to clarify here, I want to set the record straight. Is the door completely closed on MMA, or is it like slightly open just in case?
Nothing is ever completely closed in my book. I am somebody who follows my heart. I follow my passion, and that could change at a moment's notice. I am the kind of person who I'm kind of all over the place, to be honest. No, not kind of. I am all over the place. I picked up in like less than 6 months and moved my whole family to Singapore at the drop of a hat. And that's who I am. Like if something speaks to me, speaks to my heart, then, I'm all in.
Seattle Seahawks. I'm getting a little bit. I'm a Seahawks fan as well. I'm getting a little worried after that loss to the Giants last week. So I don't know. What are you thinking? Are we kind of limping into the playoffs or what?
I hope so. I think so. I mean, I think we'll be in the playoffs, but I think we started strong. Then we hit, some bumps in the road. The loss to the Giants was surprising, and I'm hoping we can have like a late season resurgence a little bit, because the Seahawks tend to play that way in their games generally. It's been kind of like that team morale. I always feel like the leadership has been strong there with Pete Carroll and obviously Russell Wilson. They have a great camaraderie, it seems like, among the team members. So, it wouldn't be surprising if we could have a late season resurgence, and that's what I'm hoping happens. Definitely go Hawks.
Last question before we go here. How cool has it been seeing some fighters that you got to work with early on? Gustavo Lopez, Cheyenne, they're in the UFC now. That must be kind of cool for you because you started with them early on.
Yes, I'm so proud of them. Cheyenne and Gustavo are two of the hardest working people you'll ever meet. I mean, fighters work hard, but then there's like the next level, like the person that's there, an hour before and an hour after practice. Like that's these guys. You can't keep them out of the gym. Sometimes like you have to tell them like to like go home. Like we're closing the gym, go home. They're those people. So I love that. Very talented. I did manage both of them for a little while. And then when I moved to One Championship, I kind of stopped with the whole management, passed them off to other people. So it was no conflict of interest. But they're very talented, very hardworking, and really good people. Like most importantly, they're really good people. So very excited. I knew Cheyenne would make it to the UFC at one point or another. I mean, that was a dead giveaway. And, it's very competitive for Gustavo and his division, bantamweight to make it to the UFC. So I'm very proud of him. And he just won his last fight, and that was great.
Love it. Miesha, thanks so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. I know it's like getting towards the holiday season, so I'm sure you got a lot going on. Anything you want to plug, any social media, your Sirius show, anything like that, the floor is yours.
Yeah, Sirius XM 3 to 5 Pacific time every Wednesday. Sometimes you'll catch me on Tuesdays and Thursdays if I fill in, but channel 156. I'm on Cameo. I definitely want to give a shout out. Anybody looking for last minute Christmas presents, like even the day of, if you feel like you forgot somebody, just hop on there and order a video or message me or whatever. I love hearing the stories and being able to connect with my fans in that way. So Christmas right around the corner. Happy holidays, everybody, and see you on Cameo.